Hey guys, TMax here. Welcome back to the channel. Oh yes, if you noticed that, I did get an LED light because I'm trying to up my YouTube game. So that's at least 5 new subscribers, right? So you're new, you see that? Go ahead and subscribe. So cool. LED light. I have been in China for just over 3 years, and from the day I landed, every time that I saw something or noticed something that was culturally different or just kind of surprised me, I would write it down on my phone. I have an app that I just write down notes, and then sometimes I take a picture, sometimes I take a video. And I did this all with the intent of making videos using this information. And I did do 3 videos, a series of videos called A Fib Knows, and they're about culture shock and me and just different situations in here in China. But really that was only about 20 or 30 different scenarios, and I've been keeping this list for over 3 years. So I finally just sat down, compiled the list, and I'm just gonna boom, give you all of the culture shock or all the different cultural things that I've noticed since I've arrived here in China. First things first, we're all hungry, right? Dining and food. Let's talk about some of the things that I've noticed here. And these are things that now I'm probably used to, but when I wrote it down at the time, it was like, what? I can't believe they do it that way. And so, yeah, as you're listening to these, remember that. This is my first time seeing these things, and now I'm probably used to it. I'm probably even doing half of these things. So in China, there is no tipping, and I moved to China from Europe, so for me, this was not a surprise, because in Europe, they also don't tip. But in the US, tipping is very common, very important for a lot of people's jobs. So here they don't tip. One thing that I thought was really strange was that they charge usually like 2 kwai, so maybe like 30 or 40 cents for napkins when you go to a restaurant. So yeah, not all restaurants, but some restaurants just, oh, you want some napkins? Okay, yeah, 2 kwai. It's like, what? Give me some free napkins. So you notice a lot of people carry their own napkins because they probably bought it at another restaurant and then just kept it in their wallet or purse, and then they just use it the next place, or they buy napkins at the new restaurant. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and interject that these are not in any specific order. They're basically as I experienced them, as I saw them, I wrote them down. So that's how I'm going to deliver this to you. And while you're at it, go ahead and take a minute to hit like on this video and subscribe and share and leave a comment. What do you think about the LED lights? Pretty sweet, right? Okay, let's get back to the dining. So bodily noises while eating are not necessarily frowned upon. So if I'm eating, if I'm smacking, or maybe I burp, it's okay. It's just, yeah, nobody notices it. It's not rude here. But if you're at the table and you finish eating and you have something in your teeth and you grab a toothpick, which they have freely available, you cannot show the world your teeth. You cannot, pick your teeth and like, yeah, because this is rude. You need to cover your mouth, super secret, because we don't know what you're doing when your mouth is covered. The rest of the bodily noises, fair game. And this includes talking with food in your mouth. Yeah, none of that's an issue. So Chinese dishes are made with lots of oil, which is great because I love cooking with oil, but it is so hard, dare I say impossible, to find cooking spray in a Chinese grocery store. And I've even gone to Carrefour and some of the Western grocery stores that are here, and it's still hard to find or not possible to find cooking spray, the spray oil. It's just convenient. I use regular oil and there's no problem, but I couldn't believe I couldn't find cooking spray. So if you're traveling in a small area and you stop to have a bite to eat at a restaurant or whatever, in any country you might see different rules than you would see in a major city. But in Beijing, I've seen several restaurants where if you look in the back, the cooks don't have shirts on, there's no hair nets, the dress code is just a little bit different, especially in the summer. If you look in the back in the kitchen, you're going to see somebody naked because it's hot. And as long as the food don't taste bad, as long as you don't sweat my food, we're good. And a delicacy you'll find here on the streets of Beijing are roasted yams or roasted sweet potatoes. They smell so good. You can smell them from, miles away, and you're like, oh man, what is that? You get up close and somebody has like their rolling cart that has a grill on it and they're grilling sweet potatoes. and people buy them obviously, and they just start eating them. It was just strange for me to see somebody buy a hot sweet potato and just start eating it like it was a candy bar. And now I do it because they're delicious. So before moving to China, if you asked me if I wanted some yogurt, I would say yes, and I would grab my spoon because I'm ready to eat the yogurt. Here, most times when they say yogurt, they mean some sort of liquidy yogurt that you would either drink straight from the carton or drink with a straw. And I've never in my life, before moving to China, drank yogurt with a straw. And I still don't do it that much here because usually it's the sweetened yogurt, and I prefer real yogurt or Greek yogurt, which is still very solid and need to eat with a spoon. But if you go to a convenience store and you say, hey, do you have yogurt? They're probably going to point you to the more liquidy kind that you can drink either with a straw or straight out of the carton. And when you buy that yogurt and you look on the back on the nutrition facts, in the US, everything is based on serving size. In Europe, usually everything is based on 100 grams. In China, it just depends on what the package is. If it's imported, it will obviously follow the rules of whatever country is imported. But here in China, I see just random nutrition facts. Sometimes it'll be the whole package, so it could be 500 grams, which is like maybe 10 servings of something, but they'll do the whole 500 grams. This is how much energy is in here, and it's like, wow, that's a lot of math that I have to do. Or sometimes they'll do a very small amount, and I'm like, there's no way that little itty bitty bit is the serving size. Like, it's got to be bigger than that. So again, you end up doing the math, or maybe nobody's reading the nutrition facts. I don't know. So going back to the Waimai, after those guys are running to give the Waimai delivery on time, if you work in an office building, the Waimai guys usually, they'll call you and say, hey, I got your Waimai, come down and get it. So you go down and you just tell them your phone number, and then they give you the food. That's pretty much all of the security as far as ensuring you get your food. And in some office buildings, Waimai guys, because they're so busy, they just put the food on the table and they walk away. And so your food is sitting there in an unsecure location. Sometimes it's outdoors, and the food is just there waiting for the person to come get it. And it is amazing the honor system that you see here. People do not take other people's food. I have never heard anybody complain about somebody else taking their food. And I go down and get my friends' food all the time, or somebody will go get their food for them. And it's an honor system. That food is sitting there and nobody steals it. I could not see this working in the West. Somebody's taking your food. Somebody's gonna be hungry and they'll walk by, snatch. Never heard anybody doing that here. Say you and I are hungry and we want to go get something to eat, but we can't agree on what to eat. What we can do is, I can go to a restaurant where I want that food and I can order it to go. And then both of us can go to your restaurant and we can sit down there and you eat food from that restaurant and I eat the food that I brought from another restaurant in your restaurant, and nobody says anything. This is perfectly okay to eat outside food in a restaurant. So if you are an expat living here in China, what have you noticed about the dining and food and grocery store culture that was culture shock for you or that was different? Leave me comments below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe and share with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.